don't have, I guess my general question is, we don't have, we have a tentative group, but it's not there yet. And the deadline is on December 1st, correct?
When the deadline for submitting your team, yeah, that's you don't need to type that. Unfortunately, or fortunately, or by design, we have to close the registration once it's starting, because otherwise it's really hard to organize things. That being said,
the deadline is on the 1st or before.
The only thing I need the team be ready and assign a number for it is just so I can, in the submission form, I can input all of those teams. So when you submit your work, you will be choosing your number. I mean, I'm sure there will be some late submissions in terms of teams, and by secret, I'll tell you that if your team will be submitted before challenges are revealed, that's also fine. So if you have team members and final negotiation goes,
so when is the deadline, I would say? It's
December 3rd, before challenges are revealed, because as soon as I'll do that, I'll switch to, you know, working around challenges and stuff like that.
Okay. So
yeah, maybe next year we'll do a bit differently. I'm not sure, but this year we.
Fine. Yeah, I just wanted to double check, because on the UX result page it says December 1st registration is closed. I just wanted to make sure we have to get it in before the 1st.
It's always good to put some pressure on people officially.
Yes, it is.
And then release it, because otherwise, you know, we won't fit in any marks. The hard deadline is actually work submission, because if people won't submit that by the end of the Saturday night, is just they out.
Yeah. And what if, have you guys ever had it happen that you have a team enroll and then midway through, like, a person drops from the team? Or
yeah, sure, always happens. I mean, could be the whole team drops, or if the person drops, it's okay. I mean, it's handled in personal communication. You just reach out and tell, like, hey, you know, I would like you to change our team because the person drops. In the case of a prize, that's something also handle it on the prize distribution, like when we figure out like how many licenses or money checks to send to people. That's, yeah, don't worry about it. It happens.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is my first hackathon, and I'm like trying to read as much about it as possible because I've never done one, but I'm really excited. Can you tell me a little bit more?
Sure. So that hackathon is Designathon, or Designer-ish hackathon. The difference is that we're not expecting people to submit ready-made solutions. And the reason behind is it's just not enough time. The product you'll develop, if you're a developer, will be shitty anyway. You're not gonna use it anyway. And the probability of satisfaction from majority of people about the finalized product or tool or something is very low. And I know that because I've participated in those. And the reason I frame it as a design hackathon is that result of the work is actually presentation of idea. Also, in regular hackathons, usually this is a plan B, and in 80% of 80% of people go to that plan B when everything falls apart and they won't submit something. So why lie and just accept the fact that it is a presentation. But the presentation, if you have a very thoughtful presentation with something to show, something accomplished, then maybe it's a prototype and maybe it's a working product, you'll have more points. Last time in Hackathon, the team won, and it was a really challenging situation about judgment because there was a draw, and I said if there will be a draw, I'll be the judge, and if it's not a draw, I'm trying to stay away. So there was a draw, and basically in like 1 minute I got to decide who is the winner, and I wasn't listening, to be honest, to all of those presentations. And basically, I quickly reviewed and picked the team which produced something tangible because it's outstanding. And they created the chatbot, and they showed that during the presentation. I saw that, and it's kind of working. So that's more close to reality, and they won because of that. I'm not sure it will be the same case here. I don't suggest to run for that particular aspect of your presentation. It's much more important to actually train your presentation in front of somebody, your peers, and record that nice video screencast or the way you want with any app you want, and submit that, and also submit some proofs of those works, either prototypes, sketches, files, cloud design sources, whatever, anything. The form of a work submission will be revealed, um, after Hackathon starts.
Yeah.
So
So
presentation is very oftenly I don't know, estimated, undervalued, under everything possible. And if you start backwards thinking what I gonna present, you will increase your chances of success hugely. And all the work and practical stuff start being aligned, like, hey, what I'm going to present. Is actually what Amazon does when they think of new products or features. They start from press release. So I highly suggest to start from idea, what exactly you're going to present, how you're going to present, what are those pieces. And once you do that, I hope everything's going to be fine, and it's up to you what present. Are you going to present the live screencast of the prototype, or is like slideshow or presentations, or is you presenting like the actual work in graphical or wherever UI UX design tool source file is? I don't care. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide, and judges will do a very hard job of. We have a main prize, and the main prize will be judged by judges independently, and we have categorical prizes. So you can pick any challenge, including freestyle challenge of your own, and you'll be participating in that, the main prize automatically. And our judges will judge among all submissions by their video and their work and amount of the work the team does.
yeah,
We'll
I
have
have
some
a question about
criteria.
that.
We'll have some criteria, but they will evaluate everybody with like point
The same
system and
metrics.
criteria. Yeah, and it's kind of hard, but it's the reality about design submissions.
Yeah, so
But
like,
um, for the main prize and for your submission is a presentation and source files. But for the you can address different personas in your submissions. You can place the video on, the main judging thing, and then as additional info among your description, pass another link or another video describing your solution to the challenge provider, and might get additional points because the way they're gonna judge the winner is up to them. They might just like, hey, I don't like any submission, or they might like I love all of them, or they may change the rules and pick two winners of their submission. I don't know. It's up to them.
so due to the nature of it being basically like 2 to 3 days, how much in detail, what kind of level of detail are you guys looking for? In the
I'm
presentation,
not
but
the person
also,
to tell you what kind of detail, and I believe actually you don't have. Honestly, if you accept fact that you don't have more than one working day, that's
mhm.
that's an honest thing, and you don't, because on Thursday majority of people they work. And don't be discouraged by not fair assumption that some team has more time than you. They really don't. And from my significant experience of hackathons, it's not about who has more time. It's usually coming from experience and nice shortcuts and great presentation. you know, usually teams which has more time, they tend to do more wrong paths and then correct themselves. And when you have limited amount of time, you're like, oh, we got to do that. So again, start from backward. Think you have 1 hour for preparing presentation, and they're like, oh, I can improve that, I can improve that, I can show that, illustrate that, and then do. And of course, there is like this time, Thursday and Friday dedicated for Q&A about challenges. I'll send a letter about it later. But basically, you prepare questions and you'll get answers on your questions about those challenges. You will have this year, you'll have additional time with it that Thursday and Friday, basically to create some kind of a UX interview or get some people, because it's really hard to get anybody during the weekends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest, if you're going to do any kind of interview, which are extra points in any UX design, do them there, like start Friday or Thursday. But again, if you have the whole day Saturday, you can go on the street, you can have friends, relatives, and yada yada, and interview them, of course. Or buy interviewers or use any tool out there available for you to perform those. If you want those, if you want to be like super subjective, like this is my design, a vision, I think it's right, go for it too. I mean, everything, we're all pretty acceptive of what you're gonna produce. Any other questions from anybody? If you're waiting or annoyed of my answers, just write in the chat, and those will be answered for sure. Or you can just ask.
I was going to ask a little bit more about you guys are going to give the guidelines for the presentation, like how long it should be, or is it just a completely free form?
Almost like completely free form, but I'll do some additional clarifications. The time limit is 5 minutes, not more than 5 minutes. If you submit something more than 5 minutes, don't think that somebody gonna watch beyond those 5 minutes. That's it.
Okay.
But basically, it's 5-minute video. If you do less, all right. If you do more, don't think it's gonna be counted into. But yeah, freestyle you can do. If you want to do a TikTok video, it's up to you. If you want to do like screencast, it's up to you. Yeah. Any other questions before we jump into teams formation? No, nobody. No questions. Wow, that's nice. All right. I don't have many people in the meeting. That's surprisingly. Oh, it's not surprising. It's 5:54.
Yeah, it's not 6 yet.
Yeah, we're gonna wait. So, people who are here already, ask questions.
I have a question. Yeah, Vlad. Hi, it's Najine. While we're waiting for people, I'm not available to really do anything until Saturday. So would you recommend that I wouldn't be very helpful?
No, I don't recommend that. I think the Saturday is the main hack day. The thing you can do on Thursday and Friday is to check out challenges, decide with your team which challenge you're gonna run, because this is taking a lot of time. And usually it's okay to have one night or couple to thinking about it. And that process of backwards thinking, what challenge are gonna pick, how you're gonna approach that is pretty important. And it doesn't require a bunch of work from you. It requires check them out and then kind of thinking about them. And that's very important time usually on hackathons you don't have. So we kind of mitigating that. And again, decision with your team what to attack, and maybe deciding who you're going to interview. Those are things basically you do Thursday and Friday. Don't think that somebody, if like a sit on Thursday night and they're going to design all the way till the Saturday evening. Well, okay, they'll produce 5 more screens. So what? Will their design solution be better than your scrappy ones? Well, they might get some extra point, I don't know, on copy or on UI, but your solution and the way you've approached it could be just hugely different. Also, we will have multiple judges per team, so it's not like one person deciding your points. It's more of a, average. So it will be balanced. Don't worry about it.
Thanks.
Sorry, I have a question. So
Sure.
I know you mentioned like TikTok and things like that for like platforms. Is there a specific platform or video method that is maybe restricted? Like, for instance, Instagram Reels, things like that.
Yeah, when you submit your work, you have to submit publicly
Mhm.
to make that video accessible, in the browser without downloading or something. So if you can upload that to YouTube, or there is a Loom app which records screens and uploads instantly, you don't need to do any video editing or whatsoever. So pick anything you like. I suggest Loom because it's just faster. If you're more creative and want to, polish it, YouTube is also fine. And just think of a link with a video. That's it. If you submit a link on Instagram and I can view that without registration, which I'm not sure, maybe it's okay, but I'm not sure. And don't expect people be logging in their Instagram and browser to check out your work. So probably figure out how to download that and upload it to YouTube. Make it public.
Are we submitting a separate prototype, or is this included in the 5-minute video, which we have to show our prototype?
It's up to you what to show, but with the submission, you also submit a link to the work itself to, kind of detach it to check it out, to zoom in into those screens or something, or cards, or your process, some artifacts. So you have ability to, videos must have, and then optional artifacts. But obviously, the more and transparent you are with your artifacts, the better. So think of a submission as like one link for a video and then free form text field where you can put links to whatever.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hi, sorry, I just got in here. It told me that it started at 5 o'clock, but I figured I'd come in early, just check and see, and it looks like some people were in here.
You're right.
I apologize. I'm actually just now finishing up with my last stop doing work. I'm a UPS delivery driver. Am I in the correct place to find a team for the UX Hackathon? Is that correct?
Yes, you are in the correct place. Later on, we'll wait for people to join, majority of people, and we have about 24 submissions. People who are willing to find a team. That would mean that basically we will have 6 teams out of that list. If you did not submit the form of a team's formation, I encourage you to do so. You can do that from your mobile device. I don't see you here. I actually don't see you there. Probably you didn't, right? So if you did not, you're on Zoom right now.
I may not.
So
yeah,
I'll send.
I don't believe I did. I didn't even send it to my email.
I did it. I did that a couple of times. I sent that link as a notification to all the meetup attendees. Also, I sent the link here in the chat. Also, that link, yeah, it's everywhere around that meeting. It's also on YouTube if you're on YouTube. Can I be part of this? I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. You can be part of this from any place in the world, as long as you find teammate from US. It doesn't have, he or she doesn't have to be citizen. They just need to be here physically, because otherwise we will not be able to deliver a prize if you win. So one team member must be US based person.
Hello.
Yeah, you can be distributed, of course.
Hello.
Hey. Yep.
Okay. So good morning. So as well,
good evening.
Person, okay, it's morning here in Nigeria. It's 12 a.m. in Nigeria.
Yeah, go ahead.
So,
Ask a question.
okay, so I was going to ask the question on if one can participate if here in Lagos, based on the time difference. For instance, this is 12:01, and then in the US it's probably 5 p.m. from what I'm hearing from people what they're saying.
So yeah, of course we are. Yeah, it's probably something I should clarify. The submission deadline will be. I believe I did. No way, I did not. Let me check. I don't believe that I. Oh, I have to admit a lot of people joining. So New York time, 11 p.m. Saturday. This is the deadline for submissions. Because on Sunday, our judges, according to this time, we start to judge, and then everything is gonna be synced. But it's up to you. Like during the time frame from Thursday night to Saturday night of EST time zone, New York time zone, to submit the work. So go ahead.
All right, I'm hopeful to get a team today because I submitted my name too. I don't have a
Well,
team.
okay, you submitted your name. That spreadsheet with the people want to have teams will be open till the start of the hackathon, because otherwise, after that, I don't want to share, personal information of people. So the way we're gonna approach that with team formation is right now in that meeting, people who are not yet, joined or matched, who didn't do themselves, I'll match them by my hand. It's not the most effective way, but it's just the way. So I see. Right. Yeah, and those and it's up to you to contact your potential team members and submit actually a team in the hackathon registration form. This is just more like a suggestion. I'll definitely send the final email about that, like, hey, those are suggested teams, and it's up to you to contact your team members and say like, hey, I'm from Nigeria, I want to participate and I can do that and that. Let's submit our team. And when you have agreement over email, LinkedIn, or whatever you want, just go and submit your team. Okay.
That's cool. Thank you.
Cool. Any other questions? I think a lot of people joining right now. We have 40. I suggest to type your questions in the chat. We will dedicate maybe 15 minutes for questions, and then we'll jump into teams formation. While I wait for for that 15 minutes, I remind you that there's a link to the teams formation form. You have to submit your profile, otherwise I cannot match you with anybody. And the link is in the chat, the link is in the meetup description, the link is under YouTube video we're streaming, it's everywhere. Where's the link? This is the second message. The first message is the link. Can you see that? Oh, you cannot. I mean, all right, I'll just.
Okay, I just submitted my form for you.
Okay. Oh, you cannot. Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, you see, people helping. Thank you. Yeah, I was late. I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't know that you don't see the history of the chat. That's kind of stupid. Bad UX. What time are we supposed to begin working? Any time after you have challenges. It's up to you. You have full day of Saturday. Is that hackathon more for experienced designer or can participate to learn? You can participate in any stage, even if you are not a designer, because we are all designers in our daily lives, and your ideas and suggestions might be beneficial. There's no advantage of super experienced designer versus not experienced in that fast, like the sprint design is less than design sprint. So it's life experience matters, maybe, ability to work with your teammates, and maybe your skills to prepare the design. But if you don't have any, and it's a motivation for you to learn a new tool, definitely that's a part of the fun to participate in hackathons, to try to approach things in a new way, maybe even if you have a team. we do have people from one company who wants to participate in hackathon just to, you know, have fun and approach things outside of their limitations, or maybe with the different limitations to exercise. Cool. Any other questions?
Aren't
What
we
is the most
posting?
important? Yep.
Sorry, are we posting all questions in the chat, or do we unmute and ask?
It's up to you. It's better right now because we have 40 people. I'm afraid is like, you can ask if you feel comfortable to ask. Just ask. If you want to just be sure that I'm answering them in order, you can type them. It's up to you. Ask.
Is everyone on the Google Sheets not on a team yet? Is that what that's for?
Yes, everybody on the Google sheet. I don't know how to pronounce. Sorry, that's a long and short I. Unless a person in that spreadsheet marked their name with a comment, and you can see those comments. That spreadsheet available for you for commenting. If you see somebody with a, you know, well, you know what? Let me share the whole screen. Thing will be much more.
And then if we get on a team, should we take our name off the sheet?
You cannot take the name of the sheet. You don't have editing rights. But what you need to do, you need to select your name and add a comment, found a team, like this. Do you see what I'm showing? Or you don't?
I see it,
you don't.
yeah.
Oh, you see? Okay, cool. So this is the way to approach it. Now, I'll go into other questions. How should I enable chat? Okay. That's interesting. Chat. Okay, cool. All right. What is the most important thing for this hackathon? To submit nice presentation about design challenge. Selected one or your custom one, because we have, if we go to hackathon page, you see freestyle challenge, that's your own. If you don't like any of these challenges and you don't like to have prizes, there's a prize here for you. And probably I'll be judging that, but it could be your freestyle if you're not fitting yourself in any of those challenges, which are, you know, pretty cool. I don't know how you cannot choose, but last time we had one team who freestyled, and I'm trying to be open for that too. Maybe you want to participate in a hackathon and you are under main theme of the hackathon, and you want to submit something with your team about your thing. Okay, submit it. I'll accept it, and we'll evaluate that separately too. How do we form groups over this Zoom call? So I have this list of people that's available for everybody. Once we see people stop submitting that form, I'll create a separate spreadsheet, a page, and I'll just split people by 4. That's it. And you see like grouped people, and those are suggested teammates from me. I'll use location. I'll use some information about, responsibility areas to try to match people with kind of balance. But I'm not using experience this time. I'm not using age, or I was experienced about experience, but it's kind of synced with the age too. Last time I tried to match different experience, like a senior person, mid person, junior person. I'm not sure it worked well because it's about communication in teams, and usually people with different experiences are not communicating good, and that's a huge, step against nice submission. So this time is purely, location and some kind of area of responsibility you are interested in, but very loosely. Can you please share a link again to the spreadsheet? Sure. This is the spreadsheet. The form doesn't think that my LinkedIn is correct URL and it won't let me submit. Right. The reason you need to go to LinkedIn, go to your profile and copy that thing. Your link's supposed to be like this. A link like this should be accepted by Google Forms. Sorry, there's a URL, basic URL validation. I can't do anything about it. Maybe you erased HTTP or H at the beginning. Just try to figure it out. Probably use a browser. My friend Alex couldn't join this call. Could she sign up, use the Google form? And is it possible to put her on the same team with me? You know what? If you have two friends, please, 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 please find a third person by yourself and submit a team to the hackathon by yourself. You don't need a spreadsheet to be matched with somebody. You can go to that spreadsheet. You can pick a person, message them, and like, hey, would you like to be a part of our team? And like, yes, I want. And you just submit the, Jesus, that's a Zoom thing. You go to here and you click register your team and you register your team. Again, people who are gonna be in the spreadsheet matched with teammates, they have to submit their team themselves, one of them, or together. Please don't submit that 3 times. There are people who do that. Of course, I will clean up that, but it's some work to do. Just agree and submit to all your team at once. Okay, so you don't need to be in that spreadsheet to find somebody. That's intentionally open. The way you're gonna find teammates, or maybe you're gonna steal teammate from another team. I don't know. It's up to you. Be active. Like don't think that somebody gonna try and message everybody. It's your responsibility to find a teammate. I'll just suggest. Last time I matched and did all the work, I don't think that worked out great. And I are looking for 1-2 people to join our team. Yeah, you already have 40 people in the spreadsheet. Email everybody or the ones you like. There are portfolios. That's really cool. People with portfolios, message them and decide, by their LinkedIn or their portfolio if you want them and invite. I specialize in research. Great. Find people with, complementary skills like UX, UI stuff.
So for people who already have teams, we don't need to sign up on the spreadsheet, right?
You don't need. Yeah, if you submitted your team, you don't need. If you didn't submit your team, that's right. You know your team. You don't need to be in a spreadsheet. Just register your team on the main hackathon page, uxresult.com.
Okay, thank you.
And you don't even need to be at the rest of this call to wait for those suggestions. If you need to do something, you have holidays time, just feel free to drop and go, and then get back later and see my suggestions of teams. But those, please don't rely on those. If you can find your team, invite your mother in your team, and she will evaluate your video submission. As an adult person, you can do so. It's totally okay. All right, 6:15. We are out of questions. No questions in the chat. If you do, this is the time to be brave, unmute yourself and ask. If you don't, I'll just.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
I think my question was, is a clickable prototype necessary for submission?
No, it's not, but the video is. It's up to you what to submit in video, but I must say that clickable prototype highly increases your chances to attract judges and get your higher points, because it's kind of, I think it's common expectation from the designer to show how things are working, because design is how things are working. But if you decide just to record your video, your face, and submit that video, that's acceptable. It's going to be judged accordingly.
Well, we could present, share screen in the video, right? And
Yeah, yes, you can share screen, you can share two screens, like it's up to you how to montage that. You can present drawing things on a paper. You can present the whole your wall. You can present the device on the street and record the video from your mobile phone and then upload it to YouTube and submit the link to the video. It's up to you what exactly you're submitting, what you think is right, how you think is better to present your work. Do this thing. So having clickable prototype, it is not a requirement.
can you go over what exact, is the video the only deliverable for the submission? Or
It's
is
a
it also?
must deliverable, but it's not like only. Any additional thing any additional links you're gonna place in the submission under the video in a free form, either text and then links. But basically, links, presentation links, just try to make sure that those links are publicly available without extra sign up or request to your slides, Google Slides access. Those should be available for everybody by the link read access. Basically, you need to provide links with the read access to your materials and artifacts, whatever they are. If you decide to submit one video and then you're like, hey, if you're interested, we have another 1 hour long video of describing how stuff is done. Okay, cool. It's up to you.
I have a question. What's the maximum number of teammates allowed? We have 6 people. We can't do
5 officially. Well, you can do 30, but prizes will be. It's up to you how to do split prize, but generally it's 5 people. But if you have 6, those person, they will not have their name under the team list, sadly. But that's the rule of the of this.
Hi, one more question from my side. I wonder,
Sure.
What is the time zone for the deadline submission on the website? Because there are hours without the time zone.
Yeah, submission deadline, New York time. I will edit that right now. Yippee. Okay, people asking about looking for people. Yeah, we have people looking for each other. All right. Okay. No more questions or any other, please ask.
I had a question. It says that you can do multiple challenges. So on average, how many challenges does a team take on? Because I've never done this before, so I don't know how long it would take per challenge.
Good question. Probably the best one because people are very confused by that. I don't know how to express that right. Maybe I should create a challenge about expressing that for the next year. Challenge is some design task, right? You can match couple challenges coherently in your thing. For example, sketch challenge. We don't know which that would be exactly, but it could be if you're smart enough and can check out the previous year in Design Hackathon 2019, that sketch did not submit a specific challenge. If you want to participate in Sketch Challenge, all you need to do is to use Sketch to produce something, right? Just to use software is already participation in that challenge. And you will judge it for that challenge by the quality of your Sketch artifact. So, you can compete for Ben 10 Tech Challenge with Sketch, or you can compete for Zaidcaster Challenge with Icons 8 challenge. Maybe Icons 8 challenge will not be about usage of the services. It will be exact task. In that case, it will be hard to match them, right? So, but there are tools to use, but we're trying to go away from that and probably Sketch something that I can speak up front. They will have a tool usage. All others probably will be much more specific, so it'll be harder to get 2 challenges at the same time. But if you have 4 people in the team and you have disagreements about which challenge to pick, it's totally okay to participate in both, or 3, or 5, or all together at the same time. It's up to you. The thing is that only one submission from your team will be judged for the main prize, right? But you can try to attack as many categorical, as many like separate challenges as you want. When you're going to submit your work, you'll submit one video presentation, and then you submit freestyle description of all that, and then you check mark in which challenges are you participating, and that's like a signal for those challenge, reviewers and judges, like basically challenge providers, to review your work because you express the interest to be judged within that particular challenge. So when you submit your work, you're like, oh, I'm participating in Leverage Challenge and Sketch Challenge. So Leverage will review the work and Sketch will review your work. If you submit somehow, nothing actually prevents you to submit multiple works also. So you as a team can submit, like do a first submission, Ben 10 Tech Challenge, and then submit new, then Zaidcaster Challenge. So, it's up to you. Very flexible. Any other questions? Yeah, again, like if you can do visual and interaction design, please, guys, Joy J, please find somebody yourself. Don't expect people to be active. Be active yourself.
Joy J, I did PM you, by the way.
Okay. All right. No more questions, or there are, please. Okay. Maybe you'll have some questions while I'm doing that live. You have 3 minutes to think about your question. All right. The thing I'm gonna do, I just do like this, duplicate, so people can still submit stuff, and probably I'll review it later. Suggested themes.
I have a question. What time is the challenge released on Thursday the 3rd?
Sometime Thursday the 3rd. Evening, US time.
Evening.
Washington.
Okay,
Evening.
so we really have two days.
Well, Friday people are working. Well, you can think of you have 2 days, but yeah.
Basically like one working day and then another maybe half day for other people who are working.
Yeah, but never in the history of design work, somebody can tell like we had 2 days, that's why we won. Never on hackathon in my experience. Like time is never, it's usually going like against. The more time you have, the worse it will be, because you overthink, you overestimate your things to do great, hugely greater than in one day, and that's a mistake. I've done that mistake. So I don't know, maybe you should like match people by 3, probably by 3 better.
Can I,
right? Yep.
is the judging criteria going to be posted?
Judging criteria is not posted. Oh my God. Yeah, I'll post it. But generally is presentation, visual aspect of that, problem solving, copy. What was the third? I forgot, but I'll publish them. Thank you for letting me know. But it's done in a way that, like, yeah, there are criterias, but again, the judging process is a bit messy. We're not like super transparent with that because it's taking enormous amount of time to make that happen. But what will happen is that all work submissions will be split by groups in order to, like in a soccer games, split by groups, and then judges will evaluate each work, and there will be a winner of a group. Like we'll have 5 groups or 4 groups or maybe less. I cannot tell. Depends on number of submissions. And then each winner of the group, but basically there is a process of picking the best, and everybody are interested in make that process like, super efficient by numbers. And then we have like a short list of those submissions. We will evaluate. We'll have all judges voting for their winner. So imagine we have short list of 10 work submissions. Those are, we think are best works in the hackathon. And that's all. It's only for the main prize. For the challenges, they're judged separately by challenge providers. But for the main prize, for $1,000, those will be like shortlisted, and then each judge voting for the winner. He has one vote, so he basically picking the winner. And then we have, right now we have many judges. We have like, I believe 33. Somebody might drop or has some like emergency, but still we have many judges in compared to previous year, which is great. And if there'll be a draw, I'll make a final pick between drawers. But the final pick is like in U.S. presidential campaign, probably. It's more emotional because you need to pick a winner, and you got to vote for somebody. And maybe in that final process, judge will decide that your submission is better because, I don't know, like color of the theme he likes more. It's hugely subjective, but the main process of bubbling those best works, is not subjective. It's based on evaluation, and it's for efficiency only, but it's also the way to pick a winner. Nobody gonna, you have like 100 works. How are you gonna pick the winner? Like you need some kind of a point system. And even if I'll be a single judge who picking a winner, I'll do that point system for myself, because it's not possible to be consciously picking the winner only. What, I gonna memorize 100 submissions? Of course not. So we have that process. That process was validated last year with some shortcuts, but generally it is like this. And those criteria are basically natural criteria of every work. Did you present it nice? Did I understood you? Yes. Did you solve the challenge? Basically yes. If you did not, like not many points. Is it beautiful, attractive? UI design is good. Is it like copy, the way you delivered the message in the design? Good. So aesthetics is a criteria. Copy is a criteria, like words, aesthetics, visual aspect, wording aspect, the way you deliver that presentation. How good you solved the challenge? There was a 5th one. I forgot which one was. Yep.
I think the point I'm making is, if we do a beautiful UI but are lacking in the UX research and the interviews, is that counted against?
Well, yeah, you have 5 criteria. You have beautiful UI, you'll have 5 or like 10 out of 10 for that criteria, but for all others, you'll have like 1, 1, 1. So your average point will not be that high. It's up to you, like, it's based on skills. Maybe you're great at UX and research and you delivered the solution, but aesthetically is not that cool. Well, if somebody made the same good work on interviews and solutions and their UI is better, they probably, they might win. They have higher chances of winning, put it this way. But if your beautiful UI doesn't solve the challenge actually, it's like dribble type of work, very beautiful but meaningless, I don't think you'll win. At least all solutions from the previous hackathon, they were really thoughtful, like really thoughtful. I was really surprised how good of a job people did in terms of thinking and interviewing and basically thinking of a solution rather than UI, purely UI like a presentation. But also there was a team, the winning team, also actually their people from the team are in the company who's sponsoring that hackathon also. They did an amazing job at UI and in presentation and also thoughtfulness. Like they score all the points, but they didn't win actually a hackathon, by the way. They win the challenge, but not the hackathon because they were definitely in the shortlist anyway. We did a hackathon in August with co-editing in beta, and it was really problematic. Oh, yeah, you guys discussing some technical things about Adobe XD or something. Yeah, whatever tools you're gonna use, Zoom, personal meetings, or just hacking into the shared design, XD. I don't think that the collaborational type of tools are super helpful. Actually, it's better to talk and split your teamwork efficiently. Right, I decided I'll split people by 3 because it just will be easier to add somebody in your team if you decided, and it's also easier to solve communication issues. It's another lesson I learned last time. I also like Figma. Okay.